Alright guys, as you can see, I am sitting in a truck. The truck pulling the race car back there. Hopefully you can see the race car on the trailer. It is track day once again. We got the head gaskets fixed, as you saw in the last video. We got the transmission fixed again, which you guys didn't know about that part, but the pump and the transmission actually self-destructed for some reason, unbeknownst to me. I don't know exactly what happened to the pump, other than it really wore the pump out in a very short amount of time. So we pulled the transmission out, put a new pump in it, put it back together, put it in the car, everything's good. So as of right now, we are on the way to XRP. Weather's nice, looks like we're about 65 degrees, no rain in sight, hopefully. Hopefully we got this thing ironed out where it goes down the track. Alright guys, so I'm going to explain a few things real quick that you're going to see in the videos. First off, there's 3 cameras for every shot, and I show you all 3 views. So the first 3 runs, I think, I'm trying to get the air fuel ironed out, and more on that here after the next couple runs, but I'll explain in a minute. So anyways, trying to get the air fuel ironed out, and that's really about all that I'm working on right now. I have not turned the boost control on at this point, so it's only running 8 pounds of boost. And if you pay real close attention, or even just kind of close attention, when I let go of the trans brake, you hear the engine flash from 4,200 RPMs on the launch to about 5,900. Then the torque converter grabs a hold of the engine and pulls it back down to like 5,200. And then it climbs through first gear, and I shift at like 6,800, and then it drops again to about 51. So the reason why I'm telling you all that is somebody's going to point it out. And first things first, the engine or the torque converter is very, very tight for 8 pounds of boost only. It's just not intended to be ran like that. So it really pulls the engine down on the shifts. So anyways, enough of all that. Oh yeah, yes, I know, my dash is loose. I don't have the bottom brackets on it, or actually I need to make the bottom brackets for it, but you'll see what I'm talking about. Check it out, here we go. So for the second and third run, what I've done both times actually is I've added a lot of fuel, and I'm pouring over the logs over and over and over, and it's just not coming around the way I think it should be. So the second run I add some fuel and I clean up the map. The third run I add a lot of fuel and straighten up the map some more. And you can see that I run the car further and further and further every time. And I think in one of the views you can actually get a good look at the air fuel. So keep an eye on that. And also, I think on the first run, I didn't say anything about it, but on the first run, in the burnout, you hear it pop, and then I reach up and I go to start it. Look at my hand where I started the car at. The second red button, that's the ignition button. For some reason it shut off in the burnout, and that's what made it backfire. So if you didn't see that, go look at it again. Alright, next run coming up. Okay, so at this point I'm starting to get a little more brave and I'm running it a little further, and it's I'm starting to understand that the engine pulling down when I shift second gear is really not leaning out as bad as it seems, and it's actually, the motor has such a small amount of power on 8 pounds of boost, it just doesn't want to run with that tight converter. So that's what you're going to see next. I got a little bit further into second gear, and in the next pass we run it out. Okay, so on this pass, I got far enough into the log on the prior pass that I had got the fueling ironed out, and now I'm starting to realize that it takes a lot more duty cycle and a lot more VE just to get this thing to be happy on 8 pounds of boost, which shouldn't be happening. And at this point, I'm thinking that the injectors are actually clogged again. Probably particulate matter coming from the fuel cell for some reason, and I had actually started using a filtered funnel and some other stuff to help stop this a while back, but apparently I wasn't quick enough. So anyways, check out this run. It goes 605 at 113 miles an hour, running it out the back door. Okay guys, I actually misspoke on that last one. The pass that you just saw was a 595 at 115. The pass prior to that was the 605 at 113. Now on that 595 pass, or the one you just saw, if you listen close in high gear, you hear the car stumble or kind of cut out. That's actually me pumping the gas pedal, and the reason I did that is I saw a puff of smoke right in front of my eyes, and what it ended up being was the oil dipstick had popped out just a little bit and it blew some oil on the header, and that was the puff of smoke that I saw. I have no idea how I was able to get back in the gas super fast like that and realize what it was, but that's what I did. So anyways, now for the last pass, this is where it gets a little weird. So I was satisfied with that, you know, getting the air fuel where it was and, you know, all those other things. So I decided to go ahead and turn on the boost control. Now problem number one, which I didn't realize till I got home, was the boost map sensor, or the pressure sensor that's on top of the wastegate, was not calibrated correctly. Now the reason that becomes a problem is that you command one pressure to the top of the gate and it's actually another, and in this case I was commanding 130 kPa and it was closer to like 180. So what that does is it makes a lot of boost on the trans brake, and in this video, or in this clip coming up, it makes about almost 19 pounds on the trans brake. So that is a problem. The car would have never gone anywhere. It would have probably blown the tires away or stood up on the bumper had I not had this secondary problem that was induced by the boost. That's a new saying. So something else happened, still not exactly sure what it was. If you watch close, you can see the air fuel gauge bouncing all over the place, completely lean, completely rich, and it really hadn't done that until this point. And when I let go of the trans brake, or right before I let go, you see the car bucking all over the place and going crazy. I let go of the trans brake, the car dies. I go to restart it, and it is flooded like you would not believe, and I roll forever while I'm trying to start this thing, which you're going to see. So anyways, check that part out. Tell me what you think. Okay guys, you have just witnessed history. This car went from normal old sitting in a field, probably end up going to be a rust bucket kind of thing, turned into a race car over the past 6 or 8 months, maybe a year, something like that. Now it's finally making passes, albeit it is not setting the world on fire. It is still only 8 pounds of boost, and it's about a half of the horsepower it's supposed to make. It makes about 750 on 8 pounds, and it should be more like 1400 or so. Nonetheless, it is a victory in my book, and I am going to take it, and I am going to claim it, and I am okay with how it ran. Got a few things to work out over the winter time before the track opens up, but we're going to be ready. Having said all that, that is the end of the video, guys. Thanks everybody for stopping by. For those of you who have stuck around to see this day, I appreciate it. That is a big, big victory in my book. So, if you haven't already, be sure and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification when you do that. Follow us on Instagram, and we will see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.